Hello, my name is Holly Carson. I am a stylist with Color Street, and I am so glad you're here today. I'm going to come on here just to talk to you a little bit about some of the Color Street's product, but mostly to show you how to get the biggest bang for your buck, how to get 2 manis and a pedi out of every single Color Street Magic nail polish set, and to talk to you a little bit about some of the other colors. First things I like to talk to people about is all of what Color Street has to offer. Color Street is more than just nail polish. Color Street started about 5.5 years ago. In that time, they've come really, really far. Of course, Color Street started with their patented 100% nail polish, dry nail polish strips. This is the thing that got me hooked on Color Street, but ever since then, they've been coming out with lots of different, really fun, great products, and I'd like to talk to you about those today. So, because Color Street, it was a dry nail polish company, they created a nail polish care kit, if you will. First things first is if we're gonna put our nail polish on, we're gonna need to be able to take it off. So Color Street came out with their own nail polish remover. This is specially formulated to remove Color Street nail polish strips. However, you can use this on any nail polish. It is non-acetone. It has a slight bergamot tea scent to it, so it's not that like really heavy nail polish remover smell, which I really appreciate, and I'm sure you guys will as well. This is an amazing product. I like to use it with this is a non-fibrous like medical pad. However, you can really use toilet paper, paper towels. I like to use those face pads, cut them in half. You can use a cotton ball. And then if you've never used these before, these are nail clips. You can get them on Amazon. You can get a set of 10 for $3.99. If you need a link, leave a comment below and I'm happy to share a link for these, because to me, this is a game like removal changer. So you're gonna do one of these moves like you normally would. You're going to clip it on your finger for about 3 minutes. Like, I love these things because they're reusable. You ever use like aluminum foil and push it down, you can still, it works the same, but these at least are reusable, last a really long time. I think I've had my set for 5 years. They're amazing. And then you guys, if you're using this, you are literally gonna be wiping it off and it's gonna come off and like it's gonna take everything off. I don't care if it's that black glitter. Okay, I love the glitters. Those are my favorite. Actually, I'm gonna put on a glitter. Love the glitters in Color Street, in anything, but they're hard to remove. You're constantly scrubbing. So this is a removal game changer. Highly recommend this. So when I remove my nail strips, I always use a buffer block afterwards. If you are in my community, you know that if you host a party for me, we call them beauty socials. If you host a beauty social for me, something like this is definitely going to be in your hostess packet. It's just my way of saying thank you, along with a full free set of your choice from my personal inventory and a bunch of other really fun goodies. But I use the buffer block every single time I take my nail polish off. It promotes blood flow to your fingertips, makes your nails grow longer, stronger, and faster. And then any of those nails that kind of got dinged up a little bit while you're wearing the nail polish, you can go ahead and smooth out then. Then I like to wash my hands, and I love to use, Color Street has their own cuticle oil. You guys, this is the best cuticle oil I have ever used before. I highly recommend everybody gets this. I think this is $12. It's amazing. I've used lots of different kinds of cuticle oil, but I love this. And I love that it's like that kind of like nail polishes where it's got the brush inside, so you can simply brush it on. No mess, no fuss. Love it. And then the next day I like to go back on, after gave my hands about 24 hours to rest, I like to put on a nail strengthener. One, because I'd like to have longer, stronger nails. I think most of us would. But also just like, this is a really good base coat to put on before Color Street. Not that you need to. However, I love to put this on, and I actually think it's a great top coat as well. So you can use it as just nail strengthener. You can use it on its own. You can use it as a top coat. You can use it as base coat. Love this stuff. It's pretty quick drying. Some people say it's fast drying, but I guess I wouldn't put it quite in the fast drying category, just so much as, you know, it's not gonna stay tacky forever, okay? And then lastly, I like to use Color Straight's hand lotion. It's kind of got an herbally cinnamon smell to it. This is anti-aging and has all of the amazing ingredients you want in a hand lotion. Anti-aging hand lotion. Who doesn't want that, right? This is non-greasy, fast-drying, really moisturizes and keeps your hands moisturized for a really long time. So love their hand lotion. But Color Street isn't just about nail polish and nail care items. They also came out with recently an entire lip line. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. I don't have all of the products here for you to see. However, I do want to address some of them. So the first thing is, if you're not a lipstick girl, I completely get it. Up until Color Street, I really wasn't a lipstick girl either. So I started with, and I still highly recommend, Color Street's Tinted Lip Balm. So, you know, beautiful packaging, just a light pink tone. It's like you'll see here, it's not gonna give your lips a ton of color, but 24-hour moisturizer. Love, like I might be a little bit addicted to this. I like it under my lipstick, I like it over my lipstick, I like it by itself. I pretty much have one of these around me all the time, and I'm definitely gonna be one of those women who has like one in their purse, one in their car, one in their medicine cabinet, one at their nightstand, because this is so good. However, the moisture does last for a super long time, so you don't have to have a ton of it. Color Street also has, and I have mine on the way, however, I don't have it here to show you, and I'm super bummed about that. However, I have, Color Street has lip primer. Glides on just as smoothly, I'm told, as the tinted lip balm. Fills in your lines and your cracks. Also moisturizing, which you don't typically get with a lip primer. So love that aspect of it. And I did wait to hear more about it before I purchased mine. So super excited about that. And then Color Street has only 4 colors, but I know that they will be coming out with more soon, of lip liner. So that this is going to stop your lipstick from bleeding, from feathering, especially if if you're a little bit older and you do end up with those lines around your lips. You know, smile lines, they're, you know, part of life. Lip liner is the way to go. This is dynamite. The things I want to talk about this on the lip liner is that not only do you twist it up, but a lot of lip liners don't allow you to twist it back down, which I highly appreciate. And the coveted thing we all love is that in-end sharpener. So they all have that. This one right here is Dynamite. I love my Dynamite. That's that classic red. And this actually lip color right here is Starlit, which is what I have right here. Starlit is that bright, bold, classic red. Color Street has 22 colors of lipstick. They have matte color, I think they're calling them, I don't know, satin, matte, and a velvet. I love, so we're going, you know, a little bit glossy, kind of neutral, and a matte look. This is a matte. Obviously there's no sheen to this. However, if you like a little bit of sheen, that's me. I like that, to put a little bit of lip balm over top of it, just to give that a little bit of extra. Love that. So like I said, Color Street has 22 colors, and then this is my favorite part, is it's got that magnetic top. Love the magnetic top. That's a real purse saver. You ever have a lipstick open in your purse? Oh my gosh, it's the worst. However, if it's magnetic, it's not gonna really be coming apart for zero reason. It's drawn to each other, so love that part. Okay, so now that I've kind of talked about Color Street's products, or at least as far as what they sell right now, I want to talk to you about the Magic Dry Nail Polish, okay? This Color Street wants me to basically tell you that you can get one manicure out of every set, and if you want a pedicure, you buy pedicures, which we do have pedicures. However, I think I'm like the biggest bang for your buck girl, and I know that I can get 2 manis and a petty out of every set. So I'm gonna show you how to do that, okay? So all of those products that I just showed you are amazing, and I think everyone should be having every one of these on their wish list. However, I'd like to tell you, you don't need all of those things to get started with Color Street. If you want to try their nail polish, everything you need is right here in the package. I'm going to show you that. You do not even need tools to open anything. Everything is right here. You know, we're talking, this is cardboard. When you open your container, you're going to see step-by-step instructions on how to put Color Street on. And this is the way Color Street recommends. However, that's not the way I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you a few variations of how to apply. In here are some quick tips. I think everybody should give them a quick read. However, I'm not going to go over those today. In every package is a rubbing alcohol wipe, which I think that every person needs to be using every time. And I know a lot of people don't, but I highly recommend it. There is a little miniature nail file in every package. And then lastly, but most importantly, is the Color Street nail strips. You will see in every package they kind of start out smaller and they get larger as they go. But before we even open that, we're going to use a rubbing alcohol wipe. 9 times out of 10 when somebody tells me they had a problem with Color Street in how long they lasted or them peeling off, it's because they did not use a rubbing alcohol wipe. I'd never, ever, ever, ever skip this step. My manis always last me 2 weeks, every single time. It's because I never skip this step. So I'm going to show you the way I do it. I do knuckle to knuckle. So I'm going from the top to the bottom. So I'm getting my fingertips on every single finger, every single time when I use it. Now, I did tell you that you'll be getting 2 manis and a petty out of every set. So that means you're going to need to just use, you know, a bottle of rubbing alcohol and, you know, tissue, toilet paper, a Kleenex, something of that nature on that other mani that you're going to get and petty that you're going to get out of every set. You can get a jug of rubbing alcohol at the dollar store, you guys. Rubbing alcohol is super inexpensive. Just be sure that you're using it every single time. We're getting off all those oils, all the extra dirt and whatnot. So we don't want to just wash our hands. We want to wash our hands and use a rubbing alcohol wipe. Okay, so after we do that, I would say to open your miniature nail file. There is a little bit of plastic, I don't know if you can see on there, on every single one. So you're going to want to open that up and have that ready to go. And then you can go ahead and open your nail strips. So they're in this clear plastic sheeting. When you're opening this, be sure not to destroy this package. Now you don't have to be perfect about it. I mean, if you want to get a scissors, you can. However, if you run your fingers like this, you will feel on one end, right, mine's right there, I don't know if you can see that right there, but there's a teeny tiny little notch. You can go ahead and start and open it that way. Now, I'm not saying this has to be the most beautiful thing that you ever open. I mean, that's not beautiful, like by any means is that beautiful. However, don't destroy the clear plastic sleeve, you need it. Okay, so you can go ahead and pull out your nail strips and you'll see in every package, it's not 1 row, it's 2, okay? So here's the deal, I only need 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this right back in the package, not in front of you because that's boring, and set it aside. But okay, so the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna lay out what sizes we need in front of us. Especially if you've never tried Color Street before, it's going to be kind of hard for you to tell which strip is going to fit each finger. So highly recommend you lay them out in order of pinky, ring, middle, pointer, thumb last, okay? That's the order we're going to do them in. We're going to put our thumbs on last because we're going to use them as tools as we go along here, okay? So for me, I've done this 1,000 times, so I already know that this strip is just a little bit too narrow for my pinky, which is super fine. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put it right back in that package with that whole set right there, okay? But for me, this next one is the perfect size for my pinky. It's actually just a little bit big. So I always tell people, these things are on paper, right? So you can put it on your finger, bend it to your fingernail, and look on either side and ask yourself, can I see my nail on either side? If the answer is yes, go to the next size up, okay? You technically, they'll say that you can stretch these just a little bit to fit your fingernail. However, I never recommend that because there's a very large chance you're going to rip it or tear it in some way. It's going to be weaker in that area and it's not going to last as long. So I just say go right to the next size up, put that strip in that package if it's too big. So if it's too small. If it's the right size, awesome. If it's a little bit big, that's the right size. Don't worry about it. You can always make these smaller once they're on, okay? Which I'm going to show you how to do that now. So this is my size for my pinky. So I'm going to go ahead and see that purple strip right there. You know, put your fingernail under. You can see it's clear. So it's a clear plastic sheeting. Once you remove this, it's a use it or lose it situation, okay? So then you'll see there's like that silver bar right there. You're going to go ahead and put your fingernail underneath that, and you're going to go ahead and lift that off its backing. The backing is just garbage now. And then because I put the rubbing alcohol on my fingertips now, I'm just going to touch it. I'm going to take the U of that right there and line it up with the U of my cuticle, trying not to get it on my cuticle. If you don't set it perfectly the first time, don't worry about it. These are repositionable. Just slowly lift it, okay? It does stick quite a bit. And then go ahead and reposition it to a better spot on your fingernail. You can reposition it a few times. So if you don't get it perfect the first time, no worries, you have several chances. Just once you've like rubbed it down, it's gonna be pretty hard to reposition it. Okay, once you get it lined up, we're gonna try not to get it on our cuticle, but if we do get it on our cuticle, it's really not the end of the world. I'll tell you a little trick about that in a minute. But we're gonna rub it from our cuticle to our fingertip, and I did get it on my cuticle a little bit here, but I'll tell you about that anyways. So we're gonna rub it back and forth in a U motion, like so. We're trying to get out any like lines, creases, bubbles. If you're doing solids, it's a little bit trickier. However, I highly recommend if you're gonna do a solid, you use a rubber tip cuticle pusher like this one, and then just put your hand flat down on the table and push out all those lines and creases. Okay, so I recommend everybody start at one side, and you're gonna push the nail strip behind your nail, like that. So your nail is actually just cutting the nail strip. Now, if you have a little bit shorter of fingernails, I will show you a trick on that in just a minute, and then you can go ahead and pull it apart. Now I'm gonna come back and clean it up a little bit because it is a little bit big on the side here and then on the end, but that's pretty much the gist of how quickly these nail strips do go on. But I have over half of the nail strip right there on my finger. So what I'm going to do, instead of tossing this, I'm going to use this on my other pinky. So I'm going to grab onto this end, and I'm going to grab onto that silver strip. I'm going to pull slowly in opposite directions. And you see it was perforated there to already create a U. So I'm going to get rid of that silver piece, and I'm going to go ahead and use that for my other pinky, you guys. In the same process as before, we're lining it up. We're starting at the cuticle, rubbing to the end, and then rubbing back and forth in that kind of that U motion here. And you can see here, it is on my finger, no big deal. I'm gonna show you how you can get that. So here's another way you can get off the excess. You can file it off, that file that came with the kit. So if you're gonna file it off, you can go ahead and push it down to your fingertips, like so. So it's just, stuck there. You can use that little mini nail file that came with the kit, and we're going to file it off. We're gonna file it off in a downward motion, just going along the edge of the nail there, and you can see that just that filing cut it. You see that? It just cuts it right off. And then you can go ahead and just pick off the end or the edge there, right there. Oh, I did miss a piece there, but no big deal, because I'm gonna have to go back and get off that excess that's on my skin there. So now normally I would do this with my my thumbnail, but I'm going to do it with my pointer so you guys can see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be drawing a line with my fingernail at the edge of my fingernail. You can go nice and slow. You don't have to be quick about it. Especially, you will be like looking at it. So you'll probably do a better job than I'm doing right now. I'm like looking at it through a computer screen. But once you've drawn that line, you can see like your nail just cut it. Because although these strips are mighty, they're not very thick. So you get that nice, perfect line there. I have a kitty hair in there. There we go. Did you see that? It's hilarious. Okay, so and I can do the same thing on this side. I don't have a whole lot of extra on this side, but that's how simple it is. And like the best part is it's instantly dry, so I can touch it. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna clean up this side a little bit. Remember I said I was gonna go back and clean this up a little bit. Now I did get it on my cuticle there. See that? It's not that big of a deal. Now, I can do a couple different things here. I can take my fingernail and I can go back and forth along my cuticle. However, I don't like to do that. It sometimes won't turn out in like the best shape, but we do want to get rid of it because tomorrow I'm going to run my hands when it's fully dry. Like, it's not going to take 24 hours to dry, but it takes about an hour to cure and about 4 hours to completely set, where it like it's hard as it's gonna get, and it like looks really great and it really looks like nail polish. But when I run my hands through my hair, what's gonna end up happening after it grows out just a little bit is that my hair is actually gonna get between the strip and my nail. So here's my quick fix on this. Now I could, like I said, I could take my fingernail and go back and forth and get it off of my cuticle. I've seen people do that. I've even seen people use orange sticks to do that same sort of situation. But I like to do it in a way faster way. I think it looks a lot cleaner as well because it doesn't have such a rigid edge then. I like to take a Q-tip, put it in a little bit of the nail polish remover, and literally just run it along the edge of the cuticle there. It resets it, looks beautiful, gets it off, looks amazing. So that's my little quick tip to you. Okay, we're gonna do one more nail because I wanna show you one more trick, and I wanted to show you also how fast it is when I'm not telling you step-by-step instructions every single step of the way, and when I'm using my thumbnail, or my thumbs, because like I said, we typically do everything with our thumbs as we go along the way. As our tools, right? But I was showing you with my pointer because I need you guys to see it, but I would normally rub it down with my thumb. And then here's the other way. If you have really, really short nails, like way shorter than I have, like, you know, to the point where like there's no white on them, here's another trick for you. You can push it kind of down on your finger a little bit, and then you can make almost like little tick marks, like you're making a perforation along the top of your nail. Now you can do that with another fingernail. You can use this end of your cuticle pusher or that end of your cuticle pusher, depending on what kind of cuticle pusher you have. I love the rubber tip one, but if you just make like a little ticks along the edge, you're like perforating it, and then you can pull it away in that same fashion. Now this is the right size for mine, so that's done. Like, that's how easy that was, right? And just like the other side, I've got all of this left over. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on this ring finger. And I too, no matter how many times I do this, I typically readjust mine several times before I get it down really well. I'm gonna go ahead and push it down, and then instead of filing it off, I'm actually just gonna use that first motion, or that first trick I told you to do, which was to push it behind the nail. And that's it, you guys. It's done. And like, this is the best part. I would never do that on a silk shirt with regular wet nail polish. So, okay, so that's basically the gist on how that's gonna go. Okay, so just so you guys kind of get it, this is gonna be my pointer, this is gonna be my ring. See, it's not exactly in order, but pointer, ring, and my thumb, right? So I'm gonna have these two left over. And remember, I had this left over, right? So I'm gonna put these back in this package with this whole row, right? However, the next time I go to do my mani with this whole row, what am I gonna have left over? The same 3, right? Because my hands didn't change sizes, right? Now, I always tell people to keep these. Now, 1, because these 3 and the 3 that are gonna come off this row, you guys, that's a petty. That's a whole petty. I'm gonna show you how I do that. However, if you're really just not into the petties, still keep these because, I mean, except for in this case, these would make really amazing accent nails. However, you can use these for 1,000,001 other things, like every single one of my keys are a different color. You get like, you know, you move into a house and all your keys are like the same. And you're like, which one's for which? Well, I used to paint mine with wet nail polish. Now I put Color Street on them and they lasted the whole time I've lived here, which is amazing. So, however, I want to show you how I get a petty with these 6 extras. Now, your 6 extras might not be the same 6 extras I have. As a matter of fact, they're probably not going to be, but these are my 6. You might have, you know, the biggest, a middle, and the smallest. You might have the 2 smallest and a middle. You might have the 2 smallest and the biggest. Everybody's gonna be a little bit different. All of our hands are different sizes, which is why they give you so many options. And then you get a petty out of it. So for me, these are my leftovers. So for me, my big toe is actually just a little bit wider than this. Now I could stretch it to make it fit. However, here's another trick for you. If your fingernails or toenails are too wide for the nail strip, turn it sideways, you guys. So what I do is there's that perforation there, remember? So I start it from like here to about here. That's my big toe, right? So I've got like about this much left over. So then I turn it on its side and I go, that's my second net toe. Now, toes are tiny except for that big toe, right? So I could go 3rd toe, 4th toe, 5th toe. However, I don't need to because I've got this strip. So I go 3rd toe, 4th toe, 5th toe. Now, toes are so tiny I could easily get 2 or 3 out of this little tiny strip, which is why I totally saved it, because it's too narrow for my pinky, so I'm not going to use it for that. It's definitely not going to be an accent nail. So I'm specifically saving it for that pinky toe, or well, pinky and next toe, or whatever you want to call them, ring finger toe. I don't know what all the names for toes are. I go 1st, 2nd, 3rd. So the other 3, that's my other foot. So these 3 strips is 1 whole foot worth of petty. Actually, I have extra and I easily could get a couple more toes out of it. Like I said, your sizes might be a little bit different, but you saw how easy it was to get off that excess just by taking my nail and just drawing that line right there. So you will be able to have that same look. So we need to save these extra nail strips, right? So what I do is I take these and I go ahead and I can just go ahead and put it right back in that clear plastic sleeve. And then I'll go ahead and take this and break it up into 2s. Now I'm not going to do it right now and put them, but I'm going to put them all into this clear plastic sleeve, but I'm not going to do it otherwise, that's boring. However, thing I will tell you is that we're going to need to remove that rubber cement. Like all of this stuff was held onto that cardboard with rubber cement. So make sure you remove all the rubber cement. I'll tell you why in a second. Okay, so once it's all in there, we're gonna put them all in there. We're gonna push them down so there's about this much room in the top, because we're going to heat reseal this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and stress that heat reseal it part again. And for that reason is because I have heard a lot of silly stories, like a lot of silly stories from women in the past that said, oh yeah, I took this package, I put everything in there, and then I put it in a Ziploc bag and pushed out all the air. That is not the same thing. Like, no, that's not what I'm telling you at all. Like, you didn't listen. You have to take this package and heat reseal it. Now, if you have a food saver, that's the way to go. Hands down, #1 way, put that end in your food saver, done, easy peasy. Now, I personally don't have a food saver, so I use a curling iron, you guys. Now, if you don't have a curling iron, maybe you have a hair straightener. If you don't have a hair straightener, maybe you have a clothes iron. all of these will work in the exact same way. Now I get my curling iron rip roaring hot, 400 degrees, get that thing really, really hot. I put it in, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I open. Heat resealed. You'll see this end, it doesn't matter if you're doing a curling iron or straightening iron or the clothes iron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, obviously hair straightener is the same process, and I will do this with a hair straightener as well. Wait the same amount of time, and you will see it's like going to be like all wrinkled up around the edge here. And then if you're using a curling iron, it'll have a curve, and if it's just a flat iron, it'll just have a crank in it. All three of those work just the same. I have in the past used a lighter in a pinch. Like one time I went camping, I took a set with me. I used a lighter and I burnt the edge and then tapped it together. It worked a little bit, but not as well. Okay, so I don't recommend it. It will sort of work-ish in a pinch, but if you have to use it in a pinch, still go back with that hair straightener or curling iron and fix it later, okay? Because realistically, it doesn't work as well. Now, I take these after all the sets are in here, after it's heat resealed, and I take this and I store it in my freezer. You guys, I have a bubble mailer in my freezer full of little packages of these. I might have, well, I'm a stylist, so I do my nails at least once a week, every single week. So I probably have like 40 to 50 of these packages resealed in there. Some of them have 2 strips in them. Some of them have 1. Some of them have half plus the 2, you know, or the 3. And you know, every one of them will be a little bit different, but I can go back anytime, make a fabulous mixed mani if it's heat resealed. Now, Color Street only guarantees a package of Color Street unopened for 1 year from date of purchase. Now, I'm telling you, I've done this for 4 years now. You can reuse these resealed packages for over a year if you did it in the process I just talked to you about. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm an open book. I'm here to answer all your questions. If you need a link to order any of the products that I've shared with you today, I'm happy to send that to you. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Bye, guys.